Yo.
Yo.
Oh, we back.
In the
Better
building.
than ever. Better than ever before, yo. We back,
Yes, sir.
man.
We
You
back.
know what I'm saying? Back on the live stream. Hey, was PA live. And direct from undisclosed locations. I'm fresh back off the trip. You know how we do, man.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Fresh back. This is the post-nuptial. Well, I don't know. I guess that's the proper term. Post-nuptial edition. Back had a little. I've covered some miles in the last 2 weeks, though, for real. You know,
made it through the jungle, brother.
Yeah, made it through the journey. You know what I'm saying? Got some new hardware. I think if you follow us on Facebook and all that, you seen what's going on. But in short, to save time, yeah, I got married. It's been a week already. That was a quick week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That was a very quick week. But
congratulations, my brother. Again.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll give a quick recap on it. And, it was in Jamaica, not Queens, the country. It was a very nice event. Very, 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 very nice event. Excellent event, exquisite. High level was the talk of the resort. Because everything, I'm around people that always do things big, so can't do it big. Good thing that my now wife did it, because I told everybody, I said, yo, y'all that had like fried chicken and paper plates sitting on the beach if I was in charge. But I'd be like, yo, son, the budget was crazy. Yo, I was like, yo, what's going on here? So I'm keeping it real, because I'm keeping it real. But she pulled off, did a great job. Nice. So now we back. I gotta work hard and eat tuna fish to pay for everything. So it's
and ramen noodles too.
Yeah, ramen noodles, but I can't because that's the whole thing with them. The noodles I can, but
I understand.
It's the whole thing. But I get your point.
There you go.
I had to make my own ramen noodles.
There you go.
But we're back here again. I mean, it just worked out. It was off 2 weeks, came back, and we on the air. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we back in the building. So it's all good. Definitely all good. What's up with you? What you been doing? Last 2 weeks, enough about me.
Man, just working and projects and bringing the crews together, the teams together, talking to the clients, coaching. On fire.
Yeah.
Everybody needs some biz therapy.
Yeah, or just therapy.
It's that too. 2023 planning, because we're in that planning phase right now.
Yeah, but does the planning ever really end? That's the question.
No, it doesn't, because it's planning, execution. Put in the little headaches there. Need some sleep. Planning, execution. So, however, this is the time of year, though. Things you get a chance to be in appreciation mode.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the time of year where you get to say, okay, how am I going to appreciate? What am I appreciating? And how would I move forward appreciating? And let me put that into place and get everybody on board.
Nice.
It needs to be on board, and we move forward.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can't believe it. The year is over.
Done.
It's really over.
Done. Days are long. Years are short.
That's true. I mean, that is true. Very profound. You're like a philosopher.
Hey, man.
You're a philosopher. So, I mean, but look. Hey, we out here. We here for you and yours to talk about running business. This might just be a potpourri edition, because I'm not gonna lie.
Potpourri.
I am tired.
Yeah, I'm sure you
I'm
are.
tired from the year. I'm tired from that trip, and I'm tired of being tired because there's so much I'm trying to get done out here in these streets, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a time we coming up on the holidays, and for business owners, this is actually a great time because some owners, your operation is closed next week for a couple of days, so you close now for Thanksgiving and the historically Black Friday, which I will add, apparently they have moved Black Friday up a week because every vendor has started their Black Friday sales today.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, Black Friday a week early. So
Mm-hmm.
um interesting. But yeah, it's a good time though. I mean, historically, I've always taken that time to kind of get myself together, restructure, reboot, put some things in place. This is probably the first time now where I can actually work on an initiative and be like, okay, here's the initiative. This is what we gonna do, y'all. Um, we're gonna get it in. So I where do we go today? Let's see. I got so many things on my mind. It's whatever. And one thing that probably doesn't mean much to many people out here, except for some of my folks, is the fact that the Duke Blue Devils will actually be going to a bowl. And if it's in a warm weather climate, I'm gonna go. If it's in Charlotte and Annapolis and all that, Yankee Stadium in Boston, not sure about that.
Right.
Because coming back from Jamaica at 89 degrees to
To go to 20
NC,
below.
yo, I'm like, what part of the game is this? And I knew it was gonna be colder when I got back, but you go down, you hype me. I mean, we already took all the bags available in the
Mm-hmm.
world. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just forgot my coat, and I'm like, because you get gassed up when you travel. You in the airport, it's climate control, the airplane is climate control.
True.
The breezeway, the jet bridge, you're like, whoa, this is real around here. But still, you get in the airport.
True.
Um, got outside. I was like, whoa, but that wasn't the killer. When I left, it was 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So
75, 70,
75. It
70.
was
Yeah.
high.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
In fact, it got warm enough that my thermometer was on AC. It was on cool.
Mm.
So when we finally got back, go in the house, it's 54 degrees in the house. That's cold.
Yeah,
That
that is
ain't
pretty.
54 degrees in the sun. That's in a house, sitting air. So we get in the bed with our clothes on. We fully clothed. So you go from this luxurious lifestyle with my man. We had butler service the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to my mans Kev and Romaine. Like they really watching, but you never know.
It might get back to them, man.
Yeah,
Message in a bottle.
my message you in the bottle. Shouts. They looked out on the cookout. Some people may disagree about both of them, but I'm not litigating that here. So, and it was cold, man. So it's been cold. And now I'm like, yo, now it's coming around. Incidentally, we know a couple of weeks ago, I had my birthday, 44 Nizi, 49. So now the next day I get up, all types of things are hurting that wasn't hurting when I was in the sun. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, I'm like, what the heck what's up with this?
Trying to relocate. Because if the body feeling good in that place.
I know. I mean, so that's why. So taking it full circle back to the Duke Blue Devils grinding out. This was our shirt for the year. New coach. So we got more wins. We got some wins. Go to Pittsburgh where it's cold too, right? So, and win today. Even better chance of going to at least Jacksonville or something like that.
Mm.
I need warm weather. You know what I'm saying? They say
Mm.
I've been asking that for like 15 years. The warm weather bowl we got was in El Paso. I wasn't going there. I was like, dude, come on, it was bananas. But we'll see how that goes. Still might not make it because I got other trips to take. But anyway, I wanted to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this is randomism, but it's all leading back to business though. It's
Of
always
course.
about business. But
Planning.
come on, man. I just a week ago, man. I'm chilling. You understand? I'm chilling, chilling. All 24-hour room service. You want something, you just call. Now it's like, who I'm gonna call? Drake?
Now you gotta go down. You gotta put on your slippers and walk
Yeah, I
down the
put my
steps.
slippers on. Not only that, now I'm back to serving. I gotta feed
Yeah.
Drake
Yeah.
completely. So I'm a little, I'm a little off.
Discombobulated.
But but I actually the cold weather had me a little hyped though. I was like, yeah, I'm back. I'm ready to work now because that's where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's your mind,
Mm-hmm.
body. I'm telling you for real. Like my whole situation on the left side. I'm like, what? Yesterday, I'm under pressure. Like, what in the world is going on, man? So we're gonna take care of that though. It's all good. So anyway, end of the year. Well, we did have some question coming about startup stuff. I think this is worth talking about that because in some regards, you're kind of always a startup if you're continuing to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I had someone just ask us something, won't name their names because they didn't sign the release form, but ask us about, what can we do for them? That's just what we could do for you. It's not about what we can do for you. It's what you can do for yourself. That's really the real question. We're just here
True.
to assist
That's
and
it.
give you answers
That's it.
or guide you to answers that you
That's it.
have. But is this a good time to start a business? I throw that out there. I'm throwing it out there not as rhetorically for you and any of our esteemed listeners, um, out there. Is this a good time? Is this a great time? Positive time to start a business or change your career or whatever. As I said, we free
It's
for all.
all relative, though.
I know, but people ask that question.
That's true, but it's relative. It's relative. Like, what do you know? First of all, you got to understand the first three hats when you decide that you want to start a business, and then you have to make sure you plan out, do some research, do some planning. Sometimes starting a business is abrupt,
Yeah.
and that's how a lot, especially through the pandemic. Especially coming through now. There's, with the inflation, a lot of people losing their jobs and they got to create a job. So sometimes you got to just be able to pivot. You got to be able to pivot. Even if you're not good at pivoting, just got to be good at pivoting. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got to make changes. But I mean, we're in such a constant environment that changes so fast.
Correct.
Um,
Correct. Correct.
it really is like unprecedented. Like
Mm-hmm.
things change so darn fast, and you're like, oh my goodness, like
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got to keep up. So whatever you're doing, you got to be flexible. You
I
got to
think the
make
critical part. I think the critical part is when you go to sleep at night and you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, because you're building up momentum throughout the day with whatever you're doing. You wake up the next day excited, but you're like, okay, where do I begin?
yeah.
what can I expect my day to look like, right? And
Mhm.
so
Well, that's the overload factor. I think
that's
we all
that's
face it. If you work
yeah,
or what
that's
have you, it's the overload factor. So
yeah.
I mean, what's interesting is how much of the stuff that we discuss in relation to owning, running a business applies to even if you're, managing a manager inside a business or an executive in there, because the days of working really with your head down and getting the job done, Johnson, good job. It just, I mean, it's over because things move too fast. And
Hmm.
so you have to be able to be flexible and really be, going. So I mean, but to get to the point, is this a good time to do something? Why would it not be?
Right.
It's a great better time. I think the question comes to us always in terms of taxes and all that, because that's what people lead with. The first thing, well, I don't want to mess up the taxes and all that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But one thing about, to the point of entrepreneurship or taking risk, when you take a risk, there's a certain amount of uncertainty. There's a certain amount of uncertainty. How you like that one? So
Certain
there's
amount of uncertainty. I
be
like
certain
that.
there'll be uncertainty,
Yeah, there you go.
and the way you deal with the uncertainty dictates how well you'll do.
Right.
And I mean, being hesitant or trying to, you know, wait till the last minute or wait to the perfect time. There is
No
no
such thing. No such
no
thing.
perfect time. No perfect
Negative.
time. No perfect time at all. So getting to it and getting in there. And then a couple of things that I have from the week. It comes down to I think becoming excited about the details.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many people get excited about the details as much
Mm-hmm.
as they can. Um being excited about the details, in one of my various conversations around that, well, for the last 3 days, it's that starting things new, and this goes out especially to startup folks. When you start something new, is exciting. You get that dopamine. Yeah, I'm right. I knew. Got my EIN. I got my LLC. I'm all in. Yes. Yeah, I got my business cards. I got my office, which, yeah, you did all this stuff, all um
Mm-hmm.
the
Things.
trappings, for lack of a better word, of
Yeah.
of being in business. And it's exciting. I'll say it. Celebrate. It's fun. But as the minutia starts piling up and the grind
Grind.
starts happening, how do you keep that enthusiasm? How do you bottle that enthusiasm? Where do you place it? Where do you
Mm-hmm.
get it? Do you
Mm-hmm.
get enthusiastic about something as simple as, hey, we got 5 phone calls today. We usually only get 2. Wow, what if I got 5? What do I have to do to get 7?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take your enthusiasm has to it starts working on small details. And I think one big detail, because as we know in the biz therapy world, many people do not do business plans. And um I think not doing it, we can have a whole, and we probably should have a whole show, or maybe that's the premiere of the Corey show, where we talk about business plans. Just talk about business plans. We'll get into that. That's not what today is about. Today is about that if you have a plan and at least an idea of where you're going, because that's what a business plan ultimately is,
Mm-hmm.
where you're going.
Correct.
You can get enthusiastic about the process of getting there. And what I'm finding is that is a true measure of success. That's how you succeed. That's how you succeed in anything, is the detail. The people that we call the best and all this other stuff, you never see the work they do behind the curtain.
Iceberg effect.
Yeah. Oh, total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't, you just see the tip. Underneath is this big thing. So it's a body of work for all this time.
Mm-hmm.
So all these overnight successes you see are not overnight successes. They're
No, they're not.
overnight, them. And but when you take some, is anything, I find it, just I think about it as I'm exploring music production and video production, that in the weeds is where the success is. Like, I can go, it's the same thing. I have pro grade, all types of applications for pro whatever. I can make pro whatever. And I look at my stuff like, yo, what is this, man? This is whack. But that's me. That's my own personal problem. But the point is, Mhm. but I realize I can't cheat the game.
Right.
So I'm spending time doing this, being an accountant, running a firm. and I'm spending time in the details of this and not, and we're gonna talk a little bit about personnel and delegation too. So I spend time at that. I spend a lot of time at that. So I can't expect to spend a lot of time with that, a little bit of time making music or doing video, and expect it to be at a level of somebody that spends all their time in that creative spot, but not in the spot that I'm in. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a little self therapy there. So I'm just sharing that with y'all. But because I do struggle with it, I still be like, yo, my stuff should be doper. But that's
That's
that's my
just
personal problem.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's because you're not content, right? With
Yeah,
with
yeah,
just
yeah.
average, right? And that should be again. That's where enthusiasm comes into place, right? And so, but I think looking because we have a different understanding, being able for those that are unsure or uncertain about and how fear impacts enthusiasm is really understanding, like I said, the first three acts, right? And so the first three hats is super important when you just want to understand it. So that's the entrepreneur, that's the manager, and that's the technician,
No doubt.
right? And so when you understand that concept of those first three hats, you get to, you can move and compartmentalize as you apply enthusiasm to each one of those hats. There's more hats, by the way. It's plenty of hats, but the first three hats are super important to
Yeah.
understand.
Well, I guess it is it so to build on that is like how do you had to play different roles in the game.
Hmm. So, I give some detail. The entrepreneur is the one that's the future thinker, right?
Mhm.
The manager is handling the past. That's the data we talk about. You heard us on previous episodes talking about KPIs and things and data validation and number stories, right? That's they're working with the past of what was happening, right? And the technician, who the person that woke up one day and said, "I'm going to go start my business." The technician is the one that lives in the present because you're producing whatever product or service is to go out to those clients. And so when you understand those three sections, you can start breaking it down a little bit more,
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. But that's that yeah, but the effort it takes to be like that. To actually sit down and break yourself down to three different pieces.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a lot of effort. However, I'm only speaking for me, right? When I'm able to understand how things work, I'm able to apply what certain efforts to certain things, and I'm able to break it down by my level of understanding.
No doubt.
If I'm just going out in the world, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started like I got a profit, non-profit, for profit, so on and so forth. I'm just out here. Okay, well, you say to someone, "Oh wow, well, what do you do?" Great. So you're really a technician
Yeah. A lot of text though. A lot of
then.
technicians.
Right? A lot of techniques. You have infrastructure in place, huh? What's that?
Yeah, never heard of that. What they
Right.
do that.
So again, the word entrepreneur is just a loose word. It's a leaf flying down the road right now, right? But if you apply a certain understanding, and that's why continuous learning and improvement got to breed, is will help. To your point, will help build the enthusiasm and those efforts that you got to put in.
Yeah, plus keep it going when it gets mundane, when it gets old. I mean, this is what I'm
It
saying.
does get
Business
old.
and your job, everything, it has ups and downs. There's certain days where it's terrible. You don't like it. You like, why am I doing this? I mean,
Yeah.
people, I'm more of a realist. You know, we love what we a lot of people love, well, a lot of people hate their jobs, but it's only love what we do and do what we do. But let's be real, we're adults now. Everything's not rosy every
No,
day.
it's not. It's hard. It's
It's,
hard.
it's not.
It's hard.
Your life ain't rosy every day. The
No,
deals with your family ain't rosy every day.
no.
But you know what I don't see out here in this kaleidoscope of social media, you can do it. It's what I just said. It's not easy. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. But
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you have it change it for the world? See, that's the thing. When you find out you're like hard, it's difficult, and you still want to do it.
Yeah.
That's
That's that enthusiasm you saying. Like that's you wake up and you like, okay.
yeah. The challenge is for seeing your vision,
Yeah.
your idea, your vision. Like I think I probably was talking to you or somebody. I don't know. I've been running my mouth since I got back here because it's so cold. All I can do is talk. But just the concept of entrepreneurship. So here you go. In case you want to know entrepreneurial questions, I'll give you some entrepreneurial answers right here. For me in entrepreneurship, and I'm not talking big dog venture capital coming in. I come up with an idea. It takes an L for 5 years, goes public, everybody eats. That's a different business model.
Mm-hmm.
That's entrepreneurship. That's grade A, whatever. I don't know, major leagues, whatever. I'm single A. I'm like, yo, you got an idea. Let's try to sell it. We sell it. I make a buck off of an idea or off my efforts. To me, highly fulfilling. One of the most fulfilling things ever is
Mm-hmm.
to be like, I did this and we got paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And now I can do it again and again and again. And guess what? I could get better and charge more for it and get paid.
Correct. And then I could put people on, right?
I could put people on.
Yeah.
They can get it.
Yeah.
For me, this is what entrepreneurship is for me personally. And it's what's exciting to me. That's what excites me about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the bread. There are at least 5 other things I can do to make way more money.
Right.
Way more money. I could make way more money and be
Right.
looking, have my little Instagram now with I could go straight nuclear family now. Got the wife, the dog, stepson, got a couple of cribs. I could be up there. Hey, this is us. Merry Christmas to us. We're here like that.
Right.
I could do that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that though. No,
Right.
don't get me wrong. I ain't saying nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying
Right.
that ain't my life. So, I
Right.
mean it's but being in law, that's what starting a business is about. But I've always said, even when my brief time of working, very brief like that I felt like you had to be an entrepreneur even within your career
Mm-hmm.
because you always had to be cognizant. I mean, there's politics around it and stuff. You don't have to worry about being compensated, but you do have to continue to think about growth. You have to continue to think and nowadays many people to get to the next level, I mean in private sector, I
Mm-hmm.
know in accounting for sure. Most times you have to leave a company to go get more money.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't sit there and you can sit there and do extra and they might prop you up, but they ain't give you no more bread. You gotta go get a new position. Um, now that there's this shortage, maybe the game's a little different. This perceived shortage anyway.
It might be coming back around because back in the day there was opportunity for you to excel within the company, make some more bread. But I think it's really about taking ownership. For my time working in corporations, it's about taking ownership. So you don't focus on the money. You want the money, but you
Yeah.
take ownership of your role. You take ownership of the impact that you're bringing in, and you try to learn everything that's around you, which is automatically going to lead you. You don't have to raise your hand per se because they're going to come and say, "How'd you do that? I need you over here. You're moving up."
Yeah. That's a standard. But I wonder now, because remember, I'm saying perceived shortage.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, and this is from a sociological standpoint, is that we are conditioned if we're somewhere because of that principle. If there's a shortage or a need, just in general, theoretically, we tend to pitch in the people that want to be the cheapest. We go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
do stuff without getting the compensation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to step in there. So now, as management, you can say, well, um, we want to pay higher wages. Well, yeah, I'll pay higher wages, but I'm going to hire fewer people. And I know the people are going to more because when they notice there's less things, there's the carrot is there for them to get more money. So
True.
they're gonna work harder. But I ain't
True.
got to pay them more money before they work harder.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
I
True.
because they know that we're gonna do it. Because look at what's been lost over the last couple of years. Bonuses, cost of living adjustments. They doing cost of living adjustments 2%. That some people got nothing. I know. I mean, from the time I was getting out the game, there's people who got not even cost of living adjustment years, right? So if you missed all those years, now peep this out, and this is totally financial flip side popping right here. But check this out. So now we're talking about this inflation at 7%. So if you've gotten minimal raises, because it used to be 6%, you get 6%. So what 6% represented was double the inflation rate, because the inflation rate on average was like 3%. So I'm giving you 6%. You staying ahead of the curve. I'm not giving you nothing for 3, 4, 5 years. It's
Right.
still 3%
Right.
inflation. Now we at a point where it's 7% inflation. So I'll give you 3% now. so
Still
really, like,
behind the 8 ball. You're still behind.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what did I do? So
Right.
I say that to say is even in the workforce, you have to have some sort of entrepreneurial head swivel to even think about what I just laid out there.
They're like, what is he
Be like,
talking
well, hold
about
up,
right
man.
now?
Y'all ain't give me nothing for like 4 years. So I've lost, 3% each one of the years. My money spent less every 3 years. You might have given me a bonus, maybe. But if you take something away, you give a thirsty man a thimble of water. It's refreshing. It's quenching. They thirsty. They parched. So now I look like a hero because I gave you 3% this year. But that's doing absolutely nothing for you.
Correct.
In
Correct.
fact, if we use 7%, you're worse off than when I didn't give you anything when it was 3%.
Because it was quenching and it wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
There's a difference, right? So yeah.
Yeah, but it's numerical. Like
Yeah.
I said, I
Yeah.
was giving you 6% when the
Yeah.
inflation was average 3. The inflation rate 7, I gave you 3%. So what that leaves the inflation rate, you still at 4% inflation. You're affected by a 4% inflation rate. So
Correct.
I didn't do nothing, but I look like
Correct.
a hero
Correct.
because my company did this. I'm gonna stay here. Yo, wait a minute. How did we get here? This is something else. Wait, we supposed to be talking about people starting and building companies. I don't
This is
know.
what we do. This is what we do.
It's just,
But no, but see, it's again entrepreneurship, right? Is this a good time? And this goes back to answering a part of that question. If you work for a company and you're not thinking about your pay status and how the company is working, because that's important when you're going to go in the world as an entrepreneur, business owner, is understanding how the money works. Now, you're not going to get it all in one shot. It's a part of the journey,
no.
right?
Yeah.
But if you can based off of what the example you just gave, if somebody can take that back and they're in a job and they've been thinking about starting their own and they go, let me look at my money, how long I've been there, what kind of raise I'm getting, when's the last time I got raised, and what's happening around me, and start to apply that. And then you apply that same formula to being your own business person. What's the revenue you're going to get in based off the product or service? What expenses that look like? Just jot that stuff down and then take it to a financial professional and say, hey, here's what I do. Here's what I want to do. Can you help me understand this even more? And then that's where you go. You starting to do your due diligence and build up that confidence and that enthusiasm, and then that leads into those other hats that we talked about,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
And you reduce you stop putting things to chance
Yeah,
because I don't know. My experience to being in business and being successful is at the core. It's not about luck. You make your luck, right? Like at the core of it. I mean, sometimes you get lucky. You get a connect. You run into somebody you didn't know they knew another person. You try
yeah,
to
but
get
you can't get ready for that. You got to just
no.
be. That's just you already working.
That's being in the game. You're in
Yeah,
the game, and you see that. But you take those items and you build your luck. And when you flip and become the employer. Because I say all that to say that when you're small employers like us, however you working with contractors or something, it's a different intangible, because the people certainly ain't working for you for the money, but but is a common, just the money, right? So I don't know how many people really work just for the money, even though it seems like it. I mean, the Protestant work ethic has made it so that work in America is part of your person. It's like, hi, my name is so and so, whatever, whatever. What do you do? That happens when you, like, these two dudes that was on the airplane exit coming back, like they connected on that level and talked the entire flight. Yes, I had to throw that out there. But even in dating, the next thing was, so what do you do? Like, it's a part of who we are. Your job is part of your job or
Well,
your.
that whole thing is all screwed up now anyway. So
Yeah, well, I'm saying it was like that,
yeah,
5-6
true,
years ago. Now
true.
I'm an influencer. Okay, cool. All right. So it is a part of it. But when you get into your startup, one thing I will say, based on where you want to go, because I made this mistake too, you're gonna need help if you're starting your business. You're gonna need help. It might be part-time help, it might be gig help, you're going to need assistance to grow. And not only to grow, for you to have the business and benefit. One of the benefits of entrepreneurship is, yes, you work hard, but you have a control of your time. That's the trade-off. You control your time. You may not see in the early years and so on, whatever, you can't. But if you plan for that. A prime example, I talked to my man. I said, look, he took a vacation middle of the summer. So I just proposed. I said, well, yo, we got 51 weeks for you to be able to do that again next year with the performance of the business even better. You got 51 weeks to prepare for that. But you make the decision. You say that, you know what? Middle of July or whatever it was, I forgot. It's timed out, like with his daughter. So I'm out. I'm going to be out this week. And that's the difference in having a business, or you can say that, and because no one, you're not putting in a request for that. You have 51 weeks to decide that that's what you're going to do. So your decisions in business move that way. And so if you say, hey, I need somebody to be able to do XYZ, you have to learn. I mean, it's a lot of freedom, but freedom comes at a cost. That's what it is. It comes at a cost, and but you can do it. And that's, I think, entrepreneurially, that is the best part. Is I picked it up from my father, because he has constantly just did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. But I mean, deadlines. He took care of the deadlines, but still. And
The funniest question is
what's that?
do you got to work today?
Oh yeah.
It's
Well,
a
I got an
holiday. It's
answer
a
for that.
weekend. It's a holiday. You working today?
Well, my simple answer to that is, does it end in day? Yeah, then I'm working. I'm working right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right,
like
right.
right now, technically, I'm working.
That little
Still
thing
working.
is a real thing because there's no more separation from
Yeah,
days off, right?
yeah, it becomes your life. I mean, you got part of your life, but think about how many people are employees and are on the same MO.
True.
Now, there's certain positions in certain organizations where you can get like that, where you kind of really come and go. You really like doing your thing. The infrastructure set for you. You good. There are places like that, but many of us don't get to that place. But it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off of time, and no matter, no amount of money can replace time. Just can't. So it's getting there. And this goes to when I was talking to another esteemed colleague of mine, and we were talking about it, how to grow how to grow your company if you coming from a solo practitioner or you starting from scratch. My thing now, I'm at the point where like even if you starting from scratch, you should think about when you should contemplate or at least conceptualize that I'm going to need some help, because being a key man in a key man operation, it's a difference. Being in a key man operation is you creating a job for yourself. So what key man means in insurance, it means, the main operator of it. But
Mm-hmm.
just the term key man means that nothing can happen without that one person,
Correct.
regardless of gender. It's just a term,
Correct.
key man. If you set yourself up like that, where nothing can happen without you, and we all do it, you are, you're jammed up.
Creating
You
a
can't
job
do
for
it.
yourself. Yeah.
And it eventually is going to make you sick
Mm-hmm.
because the stress is going to be too much. And it's even
Mm-hmm.
worse when you're a key man, but you're paying payroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happens a lot. Because why? Because you don't prepare to have people working with you.
Correct.
So usually what happens is we hire people. We got a situation, and we hire people, and we get through that situation, but we really didn't have a plan for them, and now you keep paying them, but you weren't prepared to let go.
Right.
You say, yo, you do that. Well, I'm gonna teach you to do it. I'm gonna train you to do it. And you might mess it up, but that's the teaching moment. But if you go into, and look, if you're not the one, say, hey, I need to find a partner, and that's another thing too. Let me look at the camera here. That's another thing. I'm saying all this because I made a mistake. It's okay to search for partners. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But don't search for a partner that's just like you, because that's useless.
Yeah. No.
There's no point in that.
Yeah, true.
It's okay to search for a partner to offset. You offset stuff. You good at this, I'm good at that. Y'all sit down, talk it up, make the deal, go that. Who's going to be responsible for this? Who's going to be responsible for that? Whatever. But it's okay. It doesn't have to be a formal business partner. You could do joint ventures. You can do an agreement. You could just hire them as a contractor to come in, whatever. But you're going to need help. I mean, that's just the bottom line, especially it's just how it is. And as I said, people, I'm not talking down to anyone because I ain't think I needed no help. Man, I'm good. This same room I'm sitting in, I was like, shoot, I operate the whole thing right here, make my number, I'll be chilling. But my aspiration was bigger than that. So now I got it looking like a studio in here. This is a whole nother, well, it was part of a different aspiration. So
you're in the blue room right now.
Yeah, man, I got this blue. Yo, look, man. I got it, a little blued out, a little haze going on here. But what I'm saying is that you got to get you have to think. You have to constantly be thinking about how you gonna grow. It's always about how you gonna grow. It's gotta go, because if you're not growing, you dying, and that's just fact. That's in life, period. If you're not growing, you doing the same thing all the time. You're not growing. I mean, and with my new philosophical mind here, or at least awareness of my philosophical mind, I feel as though we are allotted an amount of energy. That's what we like, because time is energy. It's energy.
Yeah.
It's like, we get into all that metaphysics, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we're allowed a certain amount of energy, and you try not to waste your energy on the suckers. That's why you want to stay sucker free, because think about how many energy sucks there are out here.
Well,
Suck
you gotta be able to identify them too.
Yeah, and you have to be in a position to be like, no. So you got to be like, nah, I ain't dealing with them no more. But it all goes into this whole business thing. There's things where you have to protect, because what happens is you have to protect your vision. You have to protect what you want to happen. You have to protect your lifestyle. You have to protect, and then when you do bring other people in, you have to protect the people that are buying into your vision. Because when people come to work for a small business, they're coming to work for the person. It's no question about it. It's not, you even if you paying them well. I've seen many situations where people, because everybody can't work in a small business either.
No.
Yeah, they just can't. I mean, some
Nah.
people, they are big business type employees. So you have to really be like, hey, when you're vetting people, you have to see if they're really, I mean, if they're there just for a check, keep them as a contractor, hire, get them when you need them. You
Yeah.
can't have them in your operation like that.
Yeah, nah.
Because especially when you small
That's
and
like
based
leaving
on,
somebody with a baby, right? Like,
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the baby for a minute.
But the thing is that people that work in large organizations tend to be job centric.
Yeah, of
And
course.
they love the term, that's not my job, or my job is this. When you're small,
Everything.
yeah. As I said, I know I've told this story in this show before. I'm like, when we were in the office, the three of us, at that time, it was Tanya and Nicole and myself. Let's just say that Tanya was answering the phone, and Tanya Stephanie would come in too. All right, now I don't want to leave her out and get messed up out here, right? So Stephanie, but let's just say Stephanie's answering the phone. Stephanie goes home for the day or uses the restroom. The phone rings. There's three of us in there, and all of us say, "It's not our job. That's ludicrous. This is ridiculous. What do you mean you're not gonna answer the phone because she's not here?"
Right.
Now we might be like, "Yeah, after 11, after 1 or whatever, we put it off." But just like arbitrarily, I don't do that. Right. Me and you don't do that.
Right.
It's
Right.
only 4 of us. We would, like, that's it's just a mindset. I said, like, I shared that with people before. I was like, how ridiculous would that be?
Because you're here to service, you're here to service, and you're here to get paid for the service you provide.
Yeah, but
so
then
yeah,
that's but when people get to the culture, when they know that the payment, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs, we make the mistake of trying not to, not remind, but make it abundant that I'm the one paying you. There's no mystery paymaster out in the ocean somewhere sending the payroll in. No, I'm the one executing the payroll. So it's not to beat you over the head because we got an agreement. But darn, look out for a player every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what I'm struggling on to pay you. Once again, not your problem. But what I'm saying is, just think about it. It's a lot different when you looking at the person paying you rather than. That's why I love corporate management. And I always, in the back of my mind, I mean, I probably would last like 3 months, but I always in the back of my mind always was like, man, I wanted to like go in corporate and be like a manager, because the main reason I wanted to do it is because I ain't had to worry about paying the people. So and I'll be like this.
Walk around with, hey, what you doing there?
Yeah, I've been with my cup of coffee.
Finish your assignment.
You got those TPS reports.
Hey, we're all gonna meet in the conference room.
Yeah, we're gonna go here and
0-100 hours.
Yeah, like it's work, but that extra of, man, I'm signing the check and transferring the money to pay you. That's a whole nother level of the game. And so if I'm sitting there, now granted, it's more loosey goosey and, oh, I got to take time off for this and take time off for that. You do a lot of that, but still, I don't have to sign your check. That's like, dang, my man, he feel me. King feel me. You know what time it is.
Yeah, King ready to go. He ready to go outside. He's bugging.
Yeah, I understand it. It's probably warming up. But as I'm saying, look, if you got a business, you have to think about all this stuff. You got to think about it. And that's what I was saying, just coming back. Like, if you come from a corporate environment and you've been a manager or you've been a director or something like that, the technique that your management skills will help you, but they don't just convey, because you're dealing with a different thing, and you can't hire the same type of people you did when you were corporate.
Right.
And you got to hire people. You got to really check their character. I mean, for me, it's more about who the person is. The skills, we'll teach you the skills.
Right.
I mean, that's that. I mean, we the skills, because we continue to develop skills internally, so it's not like a static thing. It's not just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, once you come here, you go through training for 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I'm allowed to change an entire system over the weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to be like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? We ain't doing this no more. Do that, or we get feedback. We're like, man, we got to change this or this, that. So, and I think more of the world is like that now. It
Right.
changes fast.
Right.
So,
Big time.
yeah, this
Big
conversation
time.
is going everywhere, man.
Yo, I mean, I'm just letting you get it off your chest, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Welcome back.
yeah, I don't
Welcome.
know. I'm saying,
Welcome
let me
back,
check the
Carter.
viewership. I don't
Huh?
know. I might have ostracized some of our viewers. They're like, hey, this guy. Like,
Nah,
yeah,
listen, man. It's information, it's conversation, it's development. This is the sharpening. If you come here to get sharpened, great. If you come here and you get cut, then
mm,
I mean, he can't sharpen something. You can't rub up against something sharp and not have the right perspective,
yeah. If you
right?
get cut, it's
If you
okay.
get cut, it's okay,
Put a
band-aid.
band-aid on it, kid.
But if you don't want to get cut no more, either change your perspective and come get sharpened, or just don't.
Or what? Change the channel.
Yeah, I mean, that's not
Sure.
being like, we're not being mean or anything. It's just, it is what it is. And as business owners, entrepreneurs, you're gonna run across that with customers, prospective customers,
Oh man, yeah.
partners, people in business. It's so you got to have the mindset of what's happening here. What's the influence, and what are the expectations, and what is the situation? Because the situation dictates the rules that you need to execute.
That's true. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. But that's the. I mean, it's true. But this is although it's taken a lot of turns. It does relate to what we were saying about the time of the year, and whether you're starting a business or reviving your business or planning for next year, because most of us
Mm-hmm.
on a calendar year think, um, based on your industry, December often is slow revenue wise and
Right,
activity.
right.
Um, and so it's good. So some of the stuff I'm sharing is part of our planning deal too. I mean, we look at, personnel. Do we have the right personnel for what we plan on doing next year? What do we want to do next year? What's it look like? What's our goals? What do we want to happen? Um,
Who we servicing?
yeah, who's
Are we meeting the needs?
who we are no longer servicing.
Who we know, right? What are the characteristics of those profiles of those clients, current
Hmm.
clients, prospective clients? What are they getting now? Do we need to increase them, improve this, and add this on, or take this away, or how, down to communication and content, right? What do we talk about on the live? What do we talk about on the social medias? What do we talk about on the website? Email marketing, right? I mean, contracts, you name it. It's
Yeah,
all it's
it's full contact.
full
A
contact
full
sport. Yeah,
contact, all in. Gotta do it. And it's like, and I love it. So, I
yeah.
never
We
sleep.
enjoy it. We
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I mean, but it's getting that. Well, what I love is the opportunity to get better at it, because
Yeah,
we're not doing it at a high level right now, because, we talking about it,
yeah,
but it's the opportunity to be like, man, can you, I mean, my imagination is be like, man, 12 months from now, it's going to be on a step higher than it is today.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but how we get there?
yeah.
Why? Because these next 365 days, putting something towards it to make it better. And then as you make it better, you hereby eventually you can pass it on, or you can teach other people what's going on there. And then that's
Right,
where someone else can be tracking. They can do
right,
this, they can
right.
do that. So I mean, that's my little ode to small business people and what can happen. I think the great part is because since everyone's on a journey, we're on this journey of mad journeys. It's a lot of excursions. So I'm on this journey. So I'm on a music journey. I'm on a video journey. I'm on a small business journey. You know, I'm on a petty journey. I'm exploring my pettiness.
No, you actually did good today, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I ain't got nothing to be petty about, man. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
it's well, you know what came through. This is, as I told you, this is the potpourri episode, right? So now what came through was my deal. I'm gonna be honest. This is the petty moment. We're gonna start doing petty moment for the last 5 minutes of the show.
All right, cool.
So for me, I have a strange sense of competition. and I realize I've always liked this, which is one of the many reasons why I didn't go as far in sports as I probably could have.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never competed with other people. Now, directly. I've always competed with myself on, like, why in the heck can't I do what they doing? Like,
Right.
I should be able to do what they doing.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've been getting off that. So when I see people get accolades and stuff like that, I would get petty. I would get petty, and I probably still do, because I'm like, yo, really? You getting accolades for that? Like, seriously? Like, but then I realized the accolades are not making one difference to my internal business plan whatsoever. So, not saying that I'm like anti-accolades, but it should not be that serious to me, because I'm driven by this internal goal and internal vision. And I think the more I tap into that, the less that lack of accolades, or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
take place. Because I'm measuring against me. I'm really living what I say I am. I'm measuring against Hayward CPA last year in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
in 2020. And then trying to take it to say Hayward CPA in 2023, where it is. I'm looking at me, the individual, from 2021 to 2022 to whatever. I measure on that stuff, and then it makes accolades a little different. People recognize you. That's great. Love it. And it's never motivated me. I mean,
Right.
really, I wouldn't be doing all this to try to get an award. I mean, please, what's the point of that? But so that's what's reducing my petty. So since the last 2 episodes, I really have adjusted. See, I'm changing in front of the audience. I've addressed it and said, you know what? It's not about, we know there's a lot of misinformation. We know there's a lot of stuff out here. So what I want to do is the people that appreciate what we say and appreciate our services, I focus on them. That's all the accolades I need. That's it. It's our tribe,
Yeah, I mean, those things don't really phase me. I'm always looking for the gaps anyway.
But yeah, you
You
like
know.
breaking people down though. So it's
No, not breaking.
you
Nah,
do like breaking people down.
I like breaking. No, I like breaking the situation down
Yeah, well, inevitably
because
people
well, no, that's their own thing.
you
I
see
mean, I'm just saying that we all have this. It comes with
comes to territory.
people standing on their tile, standing on they're strong in their perspectives and their beliefs, and that's cool. I
Yeah.
just I challenge the situations, and the situations become the conversation points, and then that's a reflection on somebody's level of communication and understanding, right? Because I don't know everything. But
No.
that's why I ask questions, and that's why I challenge things, because I want to know, I want to learn. And if I can impact you and give you some good information, I'm going to share it, because it's not for me to hold on to it, right? But
Of course.
then
Oh yeah, totally.
but then people's pettiness come into play and say, "Oh, he's challenging me." No, I'm not challenging you. I'm challenging the situation or the question, or why you even reached out to us to be demanding. You're reaching out to us, being demanding, looking for information from the ones that have the information. How does that work? So then I'm going to challenge the situation, and I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah. Which results in you breaking them down. I just gave the cliff notes.
I guess, but I never look at it like
I
that,
know
right?
you don't look at it that way, but it's just how it
Yeah,
happens.
I never look at it like, because I never look at it breaking
But
people
it's
down.
not malicious.
I get it, but I just don't. I never look at it like that,
Yeah.
right? I just never look at it like
I
that.
know it just puts, it's like
It might be a
shining light.
defense. It might be my own thing, because it might be just, because if I look at people that I gotta break them down, then that means if I gotta break you down, that means I'm in self-defense mode. That means that you trying to hurt me or mines. And
Well, yeah,
so
you looking
so
at it.
so right. So I don't look at because then I can really go at you.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're able to break down. It's like, a Shaolin master. So the cat come up, he hype, he done beat everybody up to the master, and he going crazy, and the master just like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and he going hard. Like then he come back again, and he's like, he is destroyed. He's like,
yeah.
catches his eggs. And Money's like, yo, I don't understand what just happened because I've been knocking cats out. And then the master's like, like you know what I'm saying? That's what I
Yeah.
mean, break them down. And then
Got you.
then
Got you.
he sits down and listens to the master like, oh snap, oh word. Because everything I've been doing has just been brute force.
Yeah,
Now you
true.
showing me the game like, a whole nother level of the game. So
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
mean by
That's a
break them
see.
down.
That's a better purview for the people, because I don't want them to think it's malicious intent.
No, it's not.
You know
No,
what I
it's not
mean?
aggressive.
Yeah.
It's not like, yo, who you think you talking to?
Right.
It's
Right.
just like,
Nah.
yo, they throwing everything they got, and you just like, mm, mm, mm. You might lay down for a minute and then come back and say, well, what about this? And they're like, oh, I ain't never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I mean, yours looks prettier than mine. I do it, but yeah, mine isn't as pretty. I just sit there and I say, mm-hmm. And part of it is the way my mind rolls. So I'm sitting there thinking like, a lot of times when we do a call or something, I get some information ahead of time. So I'm already like, so you like front line, like they coming in raw dog. And I used to be there. That's why we thank God for you. I used to be there when they come in. And it was different for me because the attacks were attacking me, like for
Yeah.
real. So
Yeah.
I'm up
True.
here like,
True.
what,
True.
yo, what? Who? So, but
True.
now when
True.
I get on the call, I'm able to get a little dossier on them. You spoken to them. We find out what they talking about. So I'm doing my homework. So I'm coming in, grounded. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm
True.
sitting there. So
True.
and then I let them swirl around. But
True.
I already have, I've gotten enough of what you asking me to
Yeah.
I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like or if I don't have the answer, I can say, hey, this is what I know is we need to look. So it's
True.
not as it takes the emotion out of it because I
Yeah.
already
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, for me, I guess I understand. At least I try to understand people's disposition, because people are emotional, they're angry, they're scared, they're uncertain, and so
hurt.
people, and so people have different ways of just those things coming out of them. And, I'm down for having the conversation. Let's keep it respectful,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see how we can help. That's just, and again, that's because that's the walk I came from. So
Yeah.
I've had to self-educate and continue to do so, but self-educate. And then I had to understand my transformation. I had to understand and ask myself questions on what is it that I want, and then be able to sharpen my decision-making tool, right? And then be flexible and so on, right? Pettiness, work on the pettiness aspect. So when I'm dealing with people, first thing I want to do is understand where you at, how you feel, what's the situation we dealing with, and let's go. Now, if you come in beating your chest, I don't have to go up against you, like you said. I'm just gonna move and
Yeah.
and let's see how this ends up.
Yeah. But it
And
happens.
hopefully I've impacted you in some way along the road, whether you work with us or not, whether you do business with
Well,
us or
it's
not.
about 8 out of 10.
know.
It might be 9 out of 10 in
Oh,
most of
that's
them.
the score? 9 out of 10.
Well, I mean, what they may not we may not execute a deal with them, but
Yeah,
they'll be like, yo, man, yeah, you was right. Because
yeah.
there's other factors that go into the
True,
deal. You know what I'm
true,
saying?
true, true,
But
true,
they come down. And
true.
no, but it goes back to what we saying before we wrap up. I mean, people listen, if you're in business or whatever, the emotional aspect of being defensive or being guarded, um, it's natural. It's natural to be guarded, it's not natural to be defensive. And it's really natural to feel like you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
and at times, and you're like, and sitting in front of somebody and having the strength to be like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I know what to do, my thing, but I'm at a level now that it's too much. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start figuring it out. I don't know where to get the help. I don't know. I don't read books like that. I don't do it. I don't. Like admit
Your
you're having a
defeats.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
admit your defeats, right? And
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's not our American society isn't designed like that on any level. So to admit it and say, you know what, it's out of control, but without it being a signal of defeat. So you're admitting it to develop strength off of it. Say, I want to learn and maybe you can help me. Or man, I'm gonna allow you to help me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to you for help. I'm not here doing that. I think it happens in a lot of professions. People don't they challenge. I mean, we can get into a subject that I will or I propose for us to do in the future in the relationship of professional services with certain demographics. But um it's okay. Be scared. Be scared and keep working anyway. Because you know
Mm-hmm.
what? You eventually your fear for whatever you're afraid of will subside, and then there'll be another level for you to be afraid of. That means you growing. If
Yep.
you ain't scared, it's too easy. Ain't nothing going on. So
For
you
real.
you and I don't mean cowering and you can't, you really cause a problem, but and it's times it's worry, it's concern. And I just don't think that's shared enough.
No,
And
because and I just had this conversation because um I think people embrace the glorified side of being in business, right? And then here it is. Even though you have to deal with the unsexy aspects of the business, right? We deal with the unsexy aspect. We're in the unsexy industry,
I know
right? And
that's
so
the worst.
we dealing with always dealing with the root of the to the tutor issues,
Yeah.
right? And we always get the dirty laundry of people's perspectives and experiences and whatever it is that they money, right?
Mhm.
It's we get with it's just the dirty laundry. Like that's the industry we on. Whether we doing business development, whether we doing taxes, it doesn't matter. We are in the dirty laundry business. And so when we're explaining these concepts and situations and experiences online, it's there's nothing we're not glorifying entrepreneurship. It's not a glorifying thing. Oh yeah, I'm selling T-shirts online. Hip, I trademarked the name or a brand or a logo, and I'm doing this. Or I got a restaurant, and you got to come and try my wings, and you got to come and try my bread because it's this that, and that might be the case.
Yeah.
So you promote that. That's
Mhm.
fine,
Right.
right? And but that's just goes back to the thing where you're talking about accolades. People get certain wins and they walk around with that, but underneath they're in pain. You're
Mm.
hurting. When you call me and I go, "What's hurting you?"
Ain't nothing hurting me, man.
right,
No, I
like, why are you feeling emotional? Those
yeah,
are really what we're asking because you're saying I need help because I'm the Uncle Sam
mhm.
is knocking on my door, or will be, or I don't want him to knock on my door, or I don't know how to my infrastructure. How do I set up an infrastructure for my business? I don't know how that is. How do you manage? How you managing your money on a sticky pad or the
Yeah.
back of a tissue?
Yeah. Oh, and the classic is this is probably the number one. I ain't making no money.
Okay, well, how do you measure that?
I don't know, but I ain't making no money. I know how much
Okay.
I'm selling, but I ain't making no money.
Did you ever think about some sort of a software? Well, I tried it, but I ain't really. Well, how did you tried it? Didn't work for you. What kind of help did you get?
Yeah.
Did you
That's
reach out to? Did you reach out for? Did you do the training? Did you reach out for support? Did you reach out to a professional that
no,
does
that's
that?
why I'm calling you.
Okay, how committed to you are to the process? Because at the end of the day, first stage of doing business with us is you need X,
Yeah,
so we can get you here. Without X, we can't get you to Y, and you're definitely not
guaranteed.
getting the Z. You see what I'm saying? So
You
I
see that?
challenge the
That's the breakdown.
situation.
See, that's the breakdown. That's exactly what I'm saying. See, and they sitting there like, come on, you know it, you hit it. Then they got to sit there and they like, because now they got to save face for a second. Then eventually they're like, yeah, man, you right, you right. It's okay.
But I understand all of this because again, this is the walk that we have to do.
Yeah, it's all good though.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
It's good. It's been a great show. This has been this might have moved in the top 5, the Potpourri show.
You're welcome back, Carter.
Yeah, Potpourri back in the building, back in the country, and all that. But these are the things. Don't forget, send your questions into hello@haywardcpa. Apparently you could hit us up on Messenger. With any questions, concerns, comment. I mean, if you're scared, let us know. Maybe we can help you. I mean, whatever. It's a conversation. It's definitely a conversation, but just understand that our goal is to build bigger, better, stronger small businesses that have other benefits for the community, beyond just the economic impact and the what it's going to do for you and your family. This is, in reality, it really is. I mean, why I believe in it. I think we can do a lot in the community.
And share resources, man. Like, share resources. Everybody want to have a party. Oh, you bring the liquor, you bring the paper plates, you bring the cups, you bring the chicken. It's the same thing with business. Share your resources. Don't be scared to share. Like, I think that's another thing is people scared to share. Don't be scared to share.
No, it comes back 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, because when people know you share, they tend to share with you. So if they know you share information, it is not a repository, and you share information, or somebody shares information with you, and you go scurry behind and use the information for yourself, and don't really, not saying not to use it, but you do it like real shady. That's the worst. So that's it. So yeah,
whack city.
Yeah, whack. So, all right, man. It's Saturday, man. This is Saturday. Also, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah.
If you want it like that.
Yeah.
happy well, Black Friday is like all week. It's Black Friday week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Happy
they got some parades out. They got some parades happening in the world today to spark local business purchasing.
Yeah. There's a Christmas parade in Raleigh or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in the crib. I ain't going.
Me too, man. I got some work to do.
It's cold, man. Or
is it? I got some work to do, bro.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Always got work to do. Always got that. So, with that being said, it's been real. Y'all be good. We'll hire you in a couple weeks. Send us your questions, your comments, concerns. If you got any show ideas, if you got anything you want to know more about, anyone you want to speak to, we're gonna really try to work on the interview series next year.
Oh, we got I gotta share the roster with. That's what we gotta talk about, the roster.
Oh yeah, because you've been working on that, and I've thought of some more people too.
Nice. So we got throw that in.
You don't have to be just bombarded with these militant thoughts from these two dudes every Saturday morning and start talking crazy. Like, really, you're supposed to be a CPA. You're supposed to have like no personality and just do my books. Well, surprise, it's a little bit different. So, all right, we gone. It's been real. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we're CPA Live. We'll see you next time. Check out the deuces. Peace.